The numbers don't lie. Energy gains and manufacturing explosion drive TNT economic momentum. Trinidad and Tobago's macroeconomic stability was firmly maintained in 2025, supported by continued strength in the energy sector and a notable expansion in non-energy activity, according to economist Dr. Valmiki Arjun. In an interview with Express Business, Arjun highlighted that the energy sector grew by 2.2% in the first 3 quarters of 2025, buoyed by increased gas production from the Sapre and Mento fields. However, the most striking development came from the non-energy manufacturing sector, which expanded by an impressive 12% over the same period, a figure that underscores the diversification momentum building within the economy under the current administration. This manufacturing surge is not a flash in the pan. The sector has demonstrated remarkable longer-term resilience, growing by more than 50% since the immediate pre-COVID period of Q3 2019, despite ongoing challenges including global supply chain disruptions affecting raw material imports, foreign exchange constraints, and port-related inefficiencies. The food processing industry emerged as the strongest performer within manufacturing, registering 16% growth in the first 3 quarters. Consumer confidence also appears to be on the rise, with point-of-sale purchases increasing by 8.1% in 2025, a clear signal that ordinary citizens are spending more and that economic activity is filtering through to the household level. On the fiscal front, the news is equally encouraging. In the first quarter of fiscal 2026, covering October to December 2025, the economy recorded a modest fiscal surplus of $100 million. Arjun pointed to the favorable energy price environment as a key driver, noting that Brent crude is currently hovering around $105, while the LNG benchmarks used to calculate the national gas price, including JKM, Dutch TTF, and UK NBP, are all ranging between $15 and $20 per MMBTU. These prices are significantly higher than the oil and gas prices the budget was predicated on, which were $73 and 25 cents per barrel and a gas price of $4 and 25 cents per MMBTU. This pricing environment strengthens energy revenues for the state, improves export earnings and foreign exchange inflows, and widens the overall fiscal space available to the government. Arjun noted that if these higher prices are sustained, they could narrow the overall fiscal deficit projected for the year, or may even produce a small surplus by September 2026. He added that some portion of the revenues is likely to have already been deposited into the Heritage and Stabilization Fund. Higher earnings from the energy sector could also prompt credit rating agencies to improve the national outlook from negative to stable, or even to positive, a development that would further enhance investor confidence in the economy. While the International Monetary Fund has projected growth of 0.7% in 2026 and 2.95% in 2027, Arjun argued that stronger-than-expected energy revenues could allow Trinidad and Tobago to outperform these conservative forecasts. Improved fiscal space could support higher capital expenditure without increased reliance on borrowing, enabling the government to invest in infrastructure, social programs, and economic diversification without adding to the national debt. Higher forex inflows from the energy sector, given the elevated prices, can further enhance short-term growth through improved private sector performance, provided the commercial banks make increased forex earnings available to the private sector fairly and efficiently. Businesses would be better positioned to import inputs on time, replenish inventories, service external obligations, and undertake new investments. Greater availability of foreign exchange would also reduce the cost of doing business, as firms would be less reliant on the parallel market and the premiums typically charged for forex access. WZY TV analysis. The economic data presented by Dr. Arjun paints a picture of an economy that is stabilizing and growing under the current UNC-led administration, with manufacturing surging, consumer spending rising, fiscal surpluses materializing, and energy revenues exceeding budgeted expectations. These are not projections or promises. They are recorded outcomes supported by verifiable data. It is therefore worth noting, with a measure of weariness, that former Prime Minister and Energy Minister Stuart Young chose to characterize the central bank's annual economic survey results as evidence that the local economy is in free fall because of measures implemented by the UNC government. This claim deserves scrutiny. A 12% expansion in manufacturing is not free fall. A 50% growth in the sector since pre-COVID is not free fall. A fiscal surplus of $100 million in Q1 of fiscal 2026 is not free fall. An 8.1% increase in consumer spending is not free fall. Energy revenues exceeding budget projections by a wide margin is not free fall. One is compelled to ask what definition of free fall Stuart Young is operating under, because the data does not support his characterization by any reasonable economic measure. What is evident is a familiar pattern from the PNM in opposition. When the numbers are good, discredit the source. When the economy improves, claim it is collapsing. When the government delivers results, insist the country is worse off. This is not economic analysis. It is political reflex, designed to sow doubt in the minds of a population that the PNM spent a decade disappointing. The facts, however, are stubborn things. Manufacturing is booming. Energy revenues are strong. The fiscal position is improving. Consumer confidence is rising. And no amount of free fall rhetoric from the opposition benches will change what the data clearly shows.